Under the bright lights of Las Vegas, the crowd hummed with an electric anticipation that could only belong to a night where pride, legacy, and national spirit collide. From one corner of the globe came a man molded by precision and discipline. Japan's Nihito Arakawa, the Oriental and Pacific lightweight champion, whose relentless courage had earned him the nickname the Japanese Rocky. His walk to the ring was a slow burn of focus. Every step measured, every breath controlled beneath the beating rhythm of drums and cheers. Opposite him, from Venezuela, walked a fighter whose name was whispered with reverence. Jorge Niño de Oro, Linares, the golden boy of South America, dressed in immaculate gold and white. His presence radiated confidence, but behind that calm exterior was a man still haunted by ghosts of past wars. The nights he'd been cut, broken, and left questioning the fragility of talent in a brutal sport. The air shimmered as both men entered the ring, the Japanese and Venezuelan flags waving from opposite sides of the crowd, the stage set for an international war of heart versus elegance. The referee, Robert Bird, brought them together, his instructions firm, his tone commanding. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Gentlemen, let's do this. As the bell sounded for round one, the story began, not of two boxers chasing points, but of two men testing the boundaries of endurance, pride, and willpower. From the opening seconds, Linares displayed his brilliance, a symphony of speed and accuracy. His jab, crisp and surgical, cut through the air like a blade. His movement fluid, as though he were painting a picture rather than fighting. He snapped Arakawa's head back with right hands, then danced away before the Japanese warrior could answer. Yet Nihito Arakawa was not a man built to retreat. Every punch that touched him only seemed to fuel his resolve. He pressed forward like a tide, refusing to recede. Shoulders tight, chin tucked, eyes unflinching. The first two rounds belonged to Linares, but Arakawa had made his point clear. He was here for the war. In the corner, Linares' team urged him to stay sharp, to use his legs, to avoid the traps that had undone him in the past. Across the ring, Arakawa's trainer demanded more pressure. Take him to deep waters, he shouted. The third round saw Linares landing combinations that glimmered with artistry, uppercuts that found space, hooks that curved around the guard, a right hand that sent sweat flying under the arena lights. Every time Arakawa's head snapped back, his feet pressed forward. The crowd began to feel the rhythm. Skill versus stubbornness, finesse against fire. By the end of the third, Linares had established control, but he knew that Arakawa, though battered, was not breaking. Round 4 arrived like a storm brewing on the horizon. Arakawa began to throw with more conviction, his gloves pounding into Linares' arms and ribs. His style was raw, unpolished, but filled with something primal. the refusal to yield. Linares, still elegant, still sharp, began to feel the weight of that constant forward motion. He slipped left hooks, countered beautifully, but Arakawa refused to take a backward step. The two clashed in the center of the ring, trading leather, the thud of impact echoing through the arena. Commentators noted the rhythm. Linares is landing, but Arakawa is enduring. Each clean shot from the Venezuelan would have stopped a lesser man. But Nihito's resolve was forged in a lifetime of hardship and repetition. His punches may not have carried the speed of Linares, but they carried his soul. Sweat poured from both men. The crowd roared as Arakawa cornered Linares briefly, throwing flurries to the body and head. Linares pivoted out, blood rising to the surface of his cheek, eyes focused and calculated. He fired back a three-punch combination that sent the crowd to its feet. A right cross, left hook, right uppercut, pure art in motion. Arakawa's head snapped back, but his spirit remained unbroken. At the bell, both men returned to their corners, breathing heavily, their expressions firm. The fight was no longer about technique. It was about endurance and heart. As rounds 5 and 6 unfolded, the bout transformed from a technical showcase into a test of will. Linares, now bleeding slightly from a small cut above his brow, continued to box with grace, gliding, slipping, punching in crisp sequences that painted streaks of gold under the arena lights. Yet, Arakawa trailed. He threw hundreds of punches, most missing, but enough landed to make Linares feel the grind. The Japanese fighter's chin, seemingly carved from stone, absorbed punishment that would have ended most nights. The crowd, sensing the defiance, began to chant for both men, half in awe of Linares' precision, half in respect for Arakawa's courage. In the sixth, Linares uncorked a perfect left uppercut, a punch so clean it lifted Arakawa's head upright, yet the Japanese warrior barely blinked. He smiled through the impact, stepped forward, and fired back. Ringside analysts could only marvel. You can't teach this kind of will, one said. Arakawa doesn't know how to quit, but Linares was in rare form, calm, poised, unhurried. Every counter landed like clockwork. Every pivot a reminder of why he was considered one of the most naturally gifted fighters of his generation. The round ended with both men trading shots, sweat flying. By the seventh and eighth rounds, the tempo intensified. Linares' combinations now came with a touch of desperation. Not because he was losing, but because Arakawa refused to fail. Every clean punch seemed to earn a reply. The Japanese fighter's body was reddened from hooks and jabs, but his eyes burned brighter with each exchange. Then, in the eighth, disaster struck. A clash of heads opened a nasty cut above Linares' right eye. Blood began to pour, blurring his vision. The referee stepped in, calling time. The ringside doctor inspecting the ring. The crowd
Imagine what he could have
held
been
its
as he
breath.
almost swims in as he's been
Would
through
the
in his
fight
career. Former
end
featherweight and
here?
super featherweight champion in this.
No,
Linares just misses with that
Linares
short right
nodded
uppercut.
firmly.
There's another combination.
"I'm
Supreme
fine,"
sharpshooter.
he said, refusing to let blood define his night. When the bell rang again, he fought as if chasing redemption, painting the ring with precision, even as crimson trickled down his cheek. Arakawa sensed the shift and attacked, trying to turn the cut into chaos. He hurled punches like a man possessed. But Linares' counters were venomous. Sharp uppercuts and straight rights, slicing through the aggression. The round ended with both men locked in a furious exchange. Neither bowed, both smiling through the storm. As the ninth round began, the energy in the arena was electric. The audience knew they were witnessing something special, a collision of spirit and artistry rarely seen in modern boxing. Linares' corner worked frantically to stem the bleeding, but the Venezuelan's focus was unshaken. Across the ring, Arakawa breathed heavily, his chest rising and falling like a man who had already spent every reserve of stamina, but somehow found more. The bells sounded, and they met at center ring again. Two warriors. Arakawa fired back, walking through the fire, refusing to give ground. Every second of that round was a microcosm of the fight. Skill against grit, talent against toughness. The cut reeled, blood dripping onto Linares' gloves, but he never faltered. His footwork remained poetry, his timing unshakable. The Japanese warrior lunged forward, swinging wildly, forcing Linares to the ropes momentarily, only for the Venezuelan to spin out with a precise right hand. The crowd erupted, both men drenched in sweat and willpower, giving everything they had left.
Take punishment well if you can get to him late in the fight.
Round arrived. Both men stood in their corners, breathing heavily, their faces carved with exhaustion and respect. They touched gloves at center ring, a silent acknowledgement of what they had endured. Linares, wounded yet composed, moved with veteran precision, answering
and stays in there too long, and the return starts to
the blood from his cut dripped down his cheek, but he wore it like a badge of war. Every movement of his body told the story of a man who refused to be broken again. Not tonight. The crowd rose to its feet as both men traded in the final minute. Combinations flying. Defense forgotten, pure spirit on display. Linares' right hand found its mark again and again, but Arakawa refused to step back. The bell sounded, but neither man moved immediately. They simply stared at one another, breathing heavily, smiling through exhaustion. There was no hatred, only mutual respect. The arena roared in appreciation of a fight that reminded everyone why boxing is called the sweet science. Because within the violence lies grace, courage, and human spirit. When the final bell rang, both fighters embraced, warriors battle by battle. As the announcer stepped to the center with the scorecards, the crowd buzzed in anticipation. Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. All three judges score in favor of the winner, Jorge El Niño de Oro, Linares. The Venezuelan lifted his arms, bloody but radiant, a smile breaking through the exhaustion. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement that talent, when fueled by a heart, can endure. The crowd gave him a standing ovation, recognizing that his courage had turned a one-sided fight into an unforgettable war. Linares' corner embraced him, his team wiping away blood and sweat as he raised his gloves to the sky. This night was more than a victory, it was a rebirth. For Arakawa, it was another chapter in his legend of heart. For Linares, it was proof that even the most fragile beauty can survive brutality when fueled by purpose. As the camera zoomed in on his face, his eyes glistened under the lights, not just with victory, but with relief. Boxing had tested him once more, and this time he passed with brilliance, courage, and the golden fire of a champion.